whole thing, I realised I hadn't hit record. It's Helen here. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's 52 weeks of 52 favourite photos, so that means it is mini album Monday. So layout for my 6x8 album of, this is going to be week 29. I was going to do 29 and 30 this week, but it's ended up quite an involved flip out layout, and pockets and tucky bits, and so yeah, we're just going to do week 29 this week. I'll catch up next week hopefully with 30 and 31. So before we get to that, if you're not already a subscriber, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like and let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed, and you're not sure what to say, just pop an emoji for the sake of engagement. That out of the way, let's get scrappy. So I've printed this out to remind me what it is I'm using. So I've purchased a collection called Stupendous from Sweet Shop Designs. I've printed, so that's one of the cardstocks. I've put my printed paper back in and printed another colour on the back. I printed some of the journal cards. I've only printed some of the papers, not all of them. And some of the icons as well. I've then got a little carried away. So Clever Monkey Designs, Tracy Monte, Sweet Shop Designs is the shop, and it's Stupendous. Got a little carried away, so what I've done is I've put this pattern paper through. It's on A4. I've then turned the paper over, printed it again, same design on the back. I've cut it to 11 inches by 8 inches. I've then scored at 1 inch and 6 inches. So we've got this, and then that's going to stick there. It's going to give us a flip open, flip open. This is on one of the filler cards that comes in the album. I've decided I'm just going to use what comes in the album where I can. I may need to take this off of my thumb in a minute. Thumb is just, it's still not working properly, and I really need to go to the doctors because it's been months now. Yeah, so it's just when I've been scrapbooking a lot or I've been holding my phone funny whilst I've been playing a game because I can't just watch TV. It hurts here, which then hurts here, and it's just a nightmare. So it's going to open like that. It's going to open like that. I really should decorate the background before I did that. I'm going to put another piece here. Possibly I might leave that. I don't know yet. And I went a bit mad with photos. So as you know, this is 52 weeks, 52 favourite photos. So the favourite photo is, so what, week 30 is it? Week 29. So my favourite photo from week 29 is this one of little O and little man. We went to Chester Zoo for little man's mum's birthday. She was 35. She took the week off work. We went to Chester Zoo. Little man's mum's took this picture, and she's took this picture. This is in, I think this was in the orangutan house. And so we're like upstairs and you can look down into them playing. So there's the inside and the outside bit where they're playing, and this is the bit that goes between it. And this, I think they were watching the snow leopards. Somebody had said to Oscar, oh, we saw the leopards, and he went, the snow leopards. So he was very particular, that's what we saw, and he was right. So I don't have a snow leopard, but I have a cheetah. And this is in the orangutan house. So I have an orangutan. So might not put that there. I might not put at the zoo. Don't know. We've got these little buttons as well. I haven't done many of the ephemera because I thought I've printed a lot of photos, and I've printed a lot of photos big as well. A lot bigger than I normally would do for the mini book. There's a snow leopard. There's the orangutan. It's an adolescent orangutan, and O just loved it. He was just stood there watching it for ages. Looking at the fish there, I think. And there's a sloth as well. That's watching the flamingos. Oh, O has to do a funny face when he do a selfie now. He won't just do a selfie. And the boy's watching the chimpanzees. So, and then that's me and my niece. That's my oldest niece. And then my sister, her mum, and our friend Val that was with us. So yeah. The elephants. I love the elephants. That's watching the elephants. And there's the flamingo. So I've gone a bit mad with photos, so I might actually end up doing a pocket at some point and just putting the photos in. I don't know what I'm doing. I have absolutely zero plan for this. And I'm now thinking I possibly should have done the blue Zoo Day card and put that there with a photo, made it smaller. I think I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go reprint this. I'm going to print, there's a blue one, so I'm going to print the blue one. I'm going to do it 3x4 instead of, oh, it's 3x4, isn't it? I'm going to do it smaller. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to put you on fast forward while I figure out what I'm doing. So I ended up not reprinting anything. I just had to play with a few bits, and I've come up with this layout. So I'm going to use one of the sort of banner tab pieces with the orangutan on the picture of the boys, and then just, you know, at the zoo. Nice and simple and obvious. Might not be obvious, to be fair. So I'm just going to do that, and then I've tore a piece of the brown pattern paper and decided I'm just going to do a little scene with the meerkats. So the meerkats are in the Africa section near the entrance to the zoo. So we did the rest of the zoo and then that bit last. Now, the last half an hour of the walk around the zoo, I just sat by the concession stands near the entrance/exit, and you know, they went off, found the giraffes and did the Africa bit. So I didn't see the meerkats or the giraffes. I've seen them before. I didn't see them on this visit, but I just really liked that along the bottom of that front page, which has got like the star photo, my favourite photo from the day. So then that front page is finished. I had put a strip down where it folds up the hinge for opening the flap. And then on this second page, I've got the picture of Emma and her little man, and then the picture of little O. And we are watching the elephants at this point, so I've got that photo of the elephants. And this is where my pocket's going to come in, where I'm going to add all those extra photos. I had so many photos because it was a lot more involved what I originally planned with this. Lots more of flaps and opening bits and opening two different ways. I just decided it was going to get a bit too bulky for this album with the number of pages I need to fit in it. So I decided against doing that, and which is why the photos are so big basically, because it would have worked really well with the original plan. So here I am cutting down one of the cards. This is going to be the backing on that piece for my pocket. The green piece of pattern paper I've cut, it's 5 wide and 4 high, and that where I've slid that into what will be the pocket, it does actually end up coming up and being stuck down to the backing. Got a strip of the stripy paper there, and I'm just pulling out some of these. So these embellishments that I've printed here, the circular ones are like flair. So it's a digital scrapbooking kit. There aren't like with Tracy redesigns where you get stickers which are meant for printables for printing and using as paper embellishments. These are all just digital embellishments, so they have like the 3D effects on them, but they really do work being printed, as you can see here. I hope you feel that they do work, and they do look like there's dimension on the page when there isn't, so I really do like that effect. So that's another strip of the striped paper there, not another strip, a strip of the striped paper there,
behind the photos on the right, and a great day out because it was. I mean, we were there from just after they opened until, being followed out by security at 5 o'clock. Um, Sticking the photos of the elephants there to the front of the pocket because the boys are looking at the elephants. Um, and I do end up having to move the photos because I've put it that photo because I put it a little bit too low down, and the elephant paper piece was covering one of the elephants. Again, that principle, it looks like paper piecing and it's not, so I really like that effect as well. What I have made sure with the pocket, you might have seen me close it all up and open it again, was to make sure that that green pocket isn't peeking out from behind the orange, because I don't want to spoil the surprise of opening the flap and that being there. Um, so yeah, I did make sure it wasn't too wide. And now I am trimming down some more photos. I end up not using the butterfly one on a page. That does end up being tucked in the pocket. The butterfly, actually, that sat on Emma's back, walking through the butterfly house for about 5-10 minutes. It was quite cute. No idea it was there. She didn't know, and she's just walking along, and we're laughing at it being sat on a bum. Um, so yeah, so I'm pulling that one out. What I am going to replace it with is, I've got a picture there of little man with his mum, looking at the flamingos, of the other birds in there with the flamingos, and I don't know if you can read what's on the photo because that will tell you what other birds are in there. Um, I'm using the flamingo paper pieces from the ephemera now. Some of the animals I've printed and cut out are in the main pack, and some are an add-on animal pack. So the flamingos are in the main pack, the elephants an add-on pack, and the orangutans. So for the top half of this bit here, the middle panel and the right side, I'm going to use pictures of O and the chimpanzees. So that's O, big smile on his face, enjoying watching the chimpanzees. There was a bit where one of the adolescent chimpanzees trying to assert his dominance and not getting very far with it. But they start fighting and they're banging against the window, which was a bit of a jump scare. So O looked at me and went, "Can we go outside now?" I was like, "Yes, we can go outside." So me and O went and sat outside and wait for everybody else to finish. I think it made a little man jump as well. But yeah, so this is when they're still being lovely to watch before they start jumping and banging on the window. I thought it was quite funny when they started fighting, but when they were diving at the window and it's the window right in front of him, it was quite a bit of a jump. So that's the two chimpanzees actually in that photo that did end up fighting. So just again another one of those little banner tag type pieces for the flamingos to sit on, and then I've just added the trip to the zoo to my cluster for the elephant. Another one of those sort of flare type badge things behind my flamingos. I've moved a flamingo over to the picture of little man and my niece, and the say cheese banner there because is taking a picture of the flamingos. It's funny actually. Isaac doesn't try to get through the fence, he tries to eat the fence, so we are continually telling him to stop eating the fence. So yeah, he's 18 months. What it's a fun texture for him. Um, so yeah, so just get this all stuck down. I've put a label there behind the chimpanzees. That's from what I've printed as well from the embellishments, and I'm going to just pop the date on that, and just building this cluster now to go on the picture of Em and little man. So just doing that. And then I've just added another strip of that paper just to keep bringing that across on the layout. Another layer, texture, bit of interest, just to break up the plain orange background. It just brings that green paper through the whole thing as well. That is it for. Oh, I had a monkey. Not the right coloured monkey. It's certainly not a chimpanzee. It's a cartoon monkey, but it shows. We were looking at monkeys. And yes, chimpanzees are apes. Are they apes? They are apes, aren't they? Not monkeys. They're primates. Primates, aren't they? I never remember. But anyway, So there we go. So that's the actual bones of the layout done, or my embellishing done. What I'm going to do now is cut all the other photos up, and I am going to stick them back to back. So this is a photo of my sister and I not long after we arrived. So that's that one. Oh no, that's actually at the Flamingo. Sorry, the picture of me and my sister is at the Flamingos. And then the picture on the back is myself and my niece. And that's outside the entrance. We've just come out of the gift shop. This is as we were leaving. It's like 5:30 now by the time we've been around the gift shop. Don't drop your new punch on your glass mat. I'm very lucky it didn't break. um, Saw me fighting there, getting my new punch out. I have coveted this punch for I don't know how long. And Sarah got some restocks of some other EK Success things I wanted, and I was like, what the heck, let's just order it. So I've got that, and I've got the big crocodile as well. You know, the one with lots of different holes, not just the two on the regular crocodile. I bought that as well. I've been coveting that for a while too. So yeah, that was just me fighting getting a new punch out of his packet. So I do add tabs to each of the top of the photos. So I am, as I said, cutting out the photos, sticking them back to back. So we've got a photo of O there watching the orangutan. They said he stood there for ages, and I walked over to him and said, "Oh, what's that? Oh, what are you watching?" And he said, orangutan. So I was like, it's quite a big word for a 3.5-year-old. But you know, he said it right. He said it better than I did. And then it was like, should we go and have a look in the other window, see what the other one's doing? And I think like the one that's quite old was sat on their own in the next like bit next to that one. So we went and watched that one for a while, and then I needed to sit down, so I kind of left everybody else inside and went and found a bench. And there was another window the opposite side from where we were stood here, where you can see the outside where the orangutans are, outside. And so they stood and watched them for a while. The picture of little man on Grandrew's shoulders. So that's the boy's granddad, my brother-in-law, whose name is Andrew. So he is Grandrew. I think I've told you that before. That is inside like the tropical house. So there's fish, there's piranhas and some spiders and frogs. There's the ropes hanging around. It's just a sloth that hangs around the roof and above you whilst you're walking around in there. And then the jaguar is around the side there as well. So just trimming off the white borders of the pictures of myself and my sister, and the one of myself and my niece, because it's a bit thick for that, bit wide for that photo. The pocket, it only just fitted. So to make sure everything else sort of went in okay with it, I I trimmed the photo down so it wasn't quite as snug with everything else in that pocket. So here's the snow leopard picture. So the boys watching the snow leopards, and then a picture of the snow leopard. My niece took these pictures. I have lots of pictures of the boys. I don't have very many pictures of animals apart from the elephants. So I really need to, I do want to do a scrapbook page for my main album about this as well. So I need to see if anybody else has got the animals. Anyway, there we go. Thanks so much for watching. I am so pleased with this layout. I've added week 29 after I finished the video in, because I remembered as I was putting it in the album, I've not put what week it is. But there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care. Don't forget to check out the 52 weeks playlist. Have a great day. Bye bye.